House File number 745, number 3 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to marriage.
I recognize the member from Ramsey, Representative Herr, who will explain her bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members,
please take your conversations off of the House floor and into the alcoves. Thank you. Representative Herr.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, House File 745 seeks to eliminate child marriages and require proof of age in order to legally marry. When we think of child marriages, our first thought is that this is an issue in other countries or that it is a problem in cultural and ethnic communities. The truth is this happens right here in the United States, in Minnesota, in communities of all cultural, ethnic, and racial backgrounds, from all faiths, and communities that have lived in this country for many generations. Child marriages happen everywhere. Between 2000 and 2010, approximately 250,000 children were married in the United States. About 90% of these child marriages were girls married to men old enough that the sexual relationship would constitute statutory rape. Statistics showing adverse outcome for these girls are staggering. Girls who marry as children versus age 21 are 3 times more likely to be beaten by their spouse, 31% more likely to live in poverty, 50% more likely to drop out of high school, 4 times less likely to graduate from college, have a 70 to 80% chance of getting divorced, and they are at greater risk of psychiatric disorders. Once married, they are often trapped. It is difficult to find gainful employment. They cannot buy a car, they cannot sign a lease, or seek divorce if they do find themselves in an abusive relationship. Domestic abuse shelters cannot accept minors, and staff at children's shelters often must inform parents of the child's location. Girls attempting to flee abusive relationships have nowhere to go. It is important to note that 2 states, Delaware and New Jersey, have already eliminated child marriages, and 9 states now are considering legislation to do the same. Countries such as Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, and Germany, along with many developing countries, have done so as well. There is a 1962 UN Convention on Consent to Marriage, Minimum Age for Marriage, and Registration of Marriage. This convention specifies that the signatory parties agree to state by law a minimum marriage age. The U.S. is not a signatory to this convention. Most of the European countries, of course, have already signed it. We are receiving international scorn for our acceptability of child marriages in our own country, even though our international stance is that child marriages relates to human trafficking and to abuse. We cannot make our federal government sign this convention, but we as Minnesotans can take a stand on this issue. Child marriages were accepted a century ago, or maybe even a generation ago. Today, we know that girls have to stay in school. Today, we know that when young girls have babies, rates of infant mortality and maternal mortality are high. Today, we know that there are simply no good outcomes. As I conclude my remarks, I want to share a quick story with all of you. When I was a minor, I attended a community event where an older man saw me for just a brief moment. That man's family called my father a few days later asking for my hand in marriage. I remember hearing my father say to the caller that he would only entertain the thought of us marrying if I graduated from college. Had my father not been my advocate, my life outcome would be very different. I would never have gone to college hours away from my home, which was not allowed for single young women at that time. I would have never met my husband at school. I would have never lived all over the country to advance my career. Most importantly, I would not be here today, standing before you as a state legislator, introducing a bill to eliminate a practice that takes opportunities that I had from other girls who didn't have an adult to advocate for them the way my father did. We are the adults who know better, so we should do better to protect our children. Please support the future of our children and support House File 745. Vote green today to end marriage in Minnesota to anyone under the age of 18. Thank you.
There are no amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its 3rd reading.
3rd reading, House File number 745.
3rd reading, discussion to the bill. Seeing no discussion, the clerk will take the roll. The clerk will close the roll. There being 127 ayes and 0 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.